All right, welcome back. We continue live right here, #1 Cochran Sports Showdown, talking about Art Rooney II, the president of the Steelers, made comments, end-of-the-year comments. And Mark Kaboly, I'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway? Was it Matt Canada? And did you like the explanation about why Matt Canada was retained?
I don't know if I like the explanation, but I can pretty much, as Tomlin would always say, I can convince myself of anything. He made a little bit of a point there where, you have to make a decision. They did get a little bit better, but you don't know why. But he didn't want to set them back a little bit. My question is, and if anybody would answer it truly, is how much input Kenny Pickett did have on this. I like this guy. I thought I played well. I don't want to take that step back. We don't know if anything like that happened. But my counter argument to that has been all along is what happens if he does, not very good this year again, then they get rid of him next year.
Same thing. They're at the bye week, and it's
before
bad.
You know it, Kenny Pickett's finally getting things to going on year 4. And you have to make a decision on him. So it's a very critical decision right there, and I don't think either one was, right way. He probably could have explained his reasoning why, but, money had to be part of it too, right?
If they would have went 9-8 and started out 7-2 and finished 2-6 with the easier teams in the front of the schedule and the tougher teams at the end of the schedule, then I just say, okay, then whatever. To say it that way, they started out well and they ended poorly. Well, would it have been the same result then? Is it because of the?
Well, what about 2 years ago? His December record stunk over a couple of years, right?
The elephant in the room is that as good as they won, they won 7 of their last 9. The offense wasn't exactly lighting things on fire. Yeah. We're talking 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. They're winning games, 16-13, 13-10. That's not exactly like they were winning games, 37, 15.
I wonder if Kenny was not attached to this, Jeff, if there would have been a different outcome. Gone.
If Kenny wasn't attached to it?
If you didn't have a 20th overall pick, first-round pick, would they said, okay, forget it?
Well, Jeff, Mark said something about how much say should he have. He's a rookie, yet he does have the most important position on the football field.
And he's your first-round pick, and you've designated him to be the guy for the next decade. At least that's the plan. So I would think you wouldn't be doing your due diligence if you didn't ask him and talk to him and say, hey, can you work with this guy? That doesn't mean that he ultimately makes the decision, but if you don't talk to him, then you're negligent of what you should be doing.
Yeah, but how comfortable can a guy be 10 games into his career and say, no, get rid of him?
Right. That's a tough position to put him in. That is. So the other thing that's interesting is it ever told me about Mitch Trubisky. A lot of people out there say that's too much money for a backup, but then you see what happened to San Francisco. You see what happened with all quarterbacks throughout the course of a year. You're down sometimes the second, third stringers, whoever is there. #1, Jeff, start with you. Should the money even be a consideration? You know what he's going to make, because even if you got somebody else of quality as a backup, you're going to have to pay relatively same amount. This guy knows the system. He's been here. Should they not even look?
So what was one of the other things Art said, that he still believes in the Steeler way, that every year they're in to win the Super Bowl? If that's the case and you believe you have a Super Bowl team, then you should have a quarterback that's backing up that can play in the league. We've seen a lot that can't play in the league. You've got a guy, unless he becomes a big problem and becomes a hostage, then I'm sticking with Mitch Trubisky.
If the whole hostages, we don't want hostages.
Right.
We want
but he's an $8 million hostage. I don't think I'd mind.
And I don't think at this point, with all due respect to Mitch Trubisky, I don't think anybody's knocking on his door to make him a starter next year, right? I think if this is a situation where he had options to be a starter, if that came, I just don't see it one of the other 31 teams.
Well, he was the starter. He was the starter with the Steelers. He just wasn't good enough.
And I get that might be awkward, but the Steelers, by the time you account for the dead money of cutting him and bringing in an established veteran backup, which you better have when you have a second-year quarterback who had 2 concussions and everything else, you better have a good established veteran backup. So you're going to pay him and then pay the dead money. You're not going to be ahead of the game.
But I'm assuming a guy like Jacoby Brissett would be, not wanting to go back to Cleveland, right? Is he a guy that you would take a risk on for a minimum contract, 2 for $5 or whatever it would be?
You don't think he'd get more than that?
I don't know.
I'm
think saying you let it play out. As long as you let it play out, the cheaper these guys get. They're a little worried that there might not be a position for him. But
again, if you believe that you can win now, Trubisky has been in this system. So he knows Matt Canada's system.
Now, if you have to choose between, you could save, $6 million if you get a cheaper guy. You save $3 or $4 million. Between that and saying keeping a guy like Cam Sutton because you're saving this money, you have to take that all into account there. They can create a lot of money to be okay, but there might, they cut their long snapper a couple years ago over like $200,000. So even the minimal amount of money matters.
Real quick, I have a minute left. I want to ask you guys this. If you were the Steelers and you're honest with yourself, would you have looked back and taken a mulligan on the Mike Hilton situation, given what he ended up signing for, which was not a whole bunch of money? I know they had a choice between Cam Sutton, him, and they had other decisions to make, but he seems like somebody they let go that they probably would like to have back.
They really like Mike Hilton, but I think they believe they could find another one, another Swiss Army knife that they drafted in the 7th round that could do that, those type of things. I think they probably undervalued a little bit or overvalued that they could find another guy that could do that. But Sutton's been good.
The irony is 2 of the best free agents they let walk in recent years were Javon Hargrave and Mike Hilton, players that they didn't deem as being every down players because they don't play at the same time. Essentially, the nose tackle and your nickel doesn't play at the same time, and both of them are every down players, and especially in modern football, they both can be every down players, and they're both probably, of all players that have left the Steelers via free agency over the past decade, that might be the best too.
I think we saw very vividly why they got rid of him today. I mean, would he allow 2 or 3 catches, touchdown, pass interference call? That's why they let him go. They didn't think he was that good of a coverage type of guy. So
I think they thought
I think that's why it was.
He was best in what they did in their system, and he was. So he didn't have the value to go.
And Cam Sutton was like top 5 in pass defenses this year.
And Cam Sutton's going to get some money this year, too. That's one of their offseason things they're going to have to figure out. When we come back, we'll talk about the Penguins. They have a lot to figure out over a 9-day break. What has to happen? What can they do? What should Ron Hextall consider? We'll talk about it next.